ranking movie sequels coming out this year by how excited I am for them. In dead last place is Freakier Friday. I'm sorry, this just does absolutely not need a sequel. At least they have the courtesy of bringing back Jamie Lee Curtis and Lindsay Lohan. It's not like they're trying to like soft reboot this with new actors or anything, but still, who actually wants this? I'm sure it's going to be a huge hit on like Disney Plus or something though. At number 13, I have Megan 2.0. I really just never understood the absolute massive hype storm that came around this movie. It's a perfectly fine film, but kind of just boring in my opinion. At number 12 is The Black Phone 2. The first one was a perfectly fine new horror movie. Ethan Hawke was very good in it. Again, I don't really know if I need a sequel for this movie. Hopefully it'll be a pleasant surprise and move up on the list. I just don't really care about it as of right now. I promise we're going to get to movie sequels I actually care about soon, but at number 11, we're not quite there yet with The Accountant 2. Again, the first Accountant movie is perfectly fine and all. Someone weirdly hacked into my Netflix account and this is what they watched like 3 times in the watch history. And again, Ben Affleck is at least returning. I'm sure this will be like a perfectly fine 6 out of 10, just throw it on in the background type of movie. At number 10 is where we start getting to the real heavy players. We got Avatar, Fire and Ash, and I know for a lot of people this will probably be in your top 3, if not your number 1 most anticipated sequel of the entire year, but the Avatar films really haven't won me over yet. I think like the first hour of the very first Avatar movie is very good. After that, I am not a big fan of that or The Way of Water. I think they are just not that great. They're amazing visually. I do not care about the story or characters whatsoever though. But I know there's a huge fan base out there, obviously since they're the highest grossing movies of all time. But there are people that really love these and I hope this film is the one that wins me over and lets me see what other people are seeing. At number 9, we have Zootopia 2. I remember really enjoying the first Zootopia movie. I am not gonna lie, I haven't seen it since like 2016 when it released, but it was a really solid film. Does it again need a sequel? Probably not, but I feel like this is going to be like an Inside Out 2 situation. That didn't really need a sequel either, but this is just such a fun world with so many likable characters that I think it's going to at least be a very enjoyable film, so I'm excited to see what they can cook with this one. At number 8, I have Nobody 2, the sequel to obviously Nobody, starring Bob Odenkirk. Is the first one like a cinematic masterpiece or anything? No, but is it an absolute blast with some really fun and creative action scenes? Yes, and that's all I'm hoping for this one. Just give me some brainless action that goes incredibly hard. I'll be very happy. At number 7, we have a huge jump up in quality and for how much I'm excited for these movies because it's Jurassic World Rebirth. We got Scarlett Johansson starring in this thing. We got Gareth Edwards directing this thing. I'm not the biggest fan of all his movies. Like I didn't think the creator was that great, but I love the premise and a lot of the visuals of that movie. Rogue One and 2014's Godzilla. This seems like he's the perfect guy to make a new Jurassic World movie. I'm really excited to see what he can cook with this one. A lot of the rumors are saying that this movie is going to dive a little bit more into the horror elements, kind of exploring things that we saw in the very first Jurassic Park movie. If they can capture that feeling again with this film, it might actually be a huge summer blockbuster. And honestly, this is probably going to be one of the highest grossing movies of the year. People love their dinosaurs. At number 6 is Captain America Brave New World, a film I'm very cautiously optimistic for. I'm really excited to see Anthony Mackie finally starring in a movie as Captain America. Obviously, we saw him in the series Falcon and Winter Soldier, but that wasn't really the full thing. Harrison Ford as Red Hulk, aka Thaddeus Ross, should be absolutely incredible, and I really just hope this film can capture those Winter Soldier kind of spy thriller vibes that they've been saying they're going for in this film, because it could really be great if they can capture that. This movie has had a lot of reshoots, more so than like any movie in recent history that I can remember. That is a little alarming that it's been testing so badly with every audience that they feel like they need to redo the movie pretty much every time, but I have hopes that this is actually going to be really good and keep the MCU's good momentum going from Deadpool and Wolverine. Number 5 is Wake Up Dead Man. Not a true sequel in the other sense of these, but it is a Knives Out mystery, the third one following Knives Out itself and Glass Onion. I wasn't the biggest fan of Glass Onion, but hopefully again this movie can match the quality of Knives Out. There are some really interesting choices being made with the casting for this movie. Like we got Kaylee Spaney and Jeremy Renner. That's a pairing I never thought I'd see in a movie together. Josh Brolin, Mila Kunis, Glenn Close. Like this is kind of a crazy cast. I think it's weaker than the first 2 films, but super interesting at the same time. At number 4 is Wicked for Good. I never expected to like the first Wicked movie as much as I did, but I had an absolute blast. Cynthia Erivo and Ariana Grande simply give 2 of the best performances of this year, and hopefully they can give us 2 of the best performances of next year as well. I'm unfamiliar with the musical itself, but I do know where the story is going to go, so I'm excited to see how they can wrap all that up. I am a little concerned from what I do know about the musical of how they're going to stretch out what's left of the musical into a feature-length film. Is it going to feel dragged on? I know they're adding some original songs, so hopefully that doesn't ruin it. At number 3, I have 28 Years Later. Yeah, this is a fan-made poster. Cillian Murphy's probably going to have a very small role in this film. It's not going to be major at all, but I love this poster. The trailer we got for this thing is one of the best trailers I've seen in a very long time. It is so creepy and unsettling. This looks like it's surely going to be an amazing horror film. I cannot wait to see what they cook with this. I'm a little worried about Aaron Taylor Johnson. He's on my bad side lately with Craven and his performance in Nosferatu, but otherwise, I'm super excited for this. At number 2 is Tron Ares. Put aside your blind hate for Jared Leto, because yes, he is starring in this movie, but Tron movies have so much sauce. I cannot wait to see what they can cook visually with the new technology that we've had since the last sequel. This movie's either going to be absolutely incredible or terrible. The soundtrack is being composed by the 9 Inch Nails, which is just a crazy choice. Again, that could work perfectly or terribly. We just have to see what this movie is going to give us. I'm really hopeful for it though. Before number 1, if you're watching at this point and you're not subscribed, hit that button real quick and the like button, and let me know your list in the comments below, or you can just do like a top 5 if you want. My number 1 is Mission Impossible 8, The Final Reckoning. This seems like it's actually going to be the very final time we see Tom Cruise suit up as Ethan Hunt in a Mission Impossible film. It's going to be an absolute end of an era. You know the stunts are going to be crazier than ever. This is going to be the big conclusion to Dead Reckoning Part 1. The trailer looks epic and beautiful. I love all the bright colors in it, and again, you know the stunts are going to be crazy. This is going to be peak. If you're not ready to move on to 2025 movies yet, I completely understand. So click down below in the playlist and check out my top 10 best movies of 2024, the worst movies of 2024, and the best TV shows. Are all in that playlist below. I'd really appreciate it.